10, 9.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Get ready for two guys who can't handle the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But we can. Dave Palumbo, Chris Aceto. RxMuscle.com presents Heavy Muscle Radio. Watch out!
Welcome to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined, as always, by the technician, Chris Aceto, on this November 16th, 2020 evening. Busy weekend in bodybuilding, Chris. A lot going on. Regan Grimes winning a show over there in Romania, qualifying for next year's Olympia. Pretty weak lineup. I think a lot of missed opportunities for a lot of people. Regan smart, jumping in that show, not minding about all the travel and everything like that, and he's qualified for next year. I think it was a smart move on his part, but it was a really pretty weak lineup, wouldn't you say?
Well, I mean, it wasn't the best lineup, but it's a brilliant. I mean, it's not a brilliant move, but I mean, you have to take your hat off to people like Regan who compete.
Smart.
And then there's people who, and he's competing on just the circumstances of, COVID. It's a little bit more challenging than, any other time, any other previous year. So, there's people going to be staying home, at the Olympia this year and next year, not qualified, who technically, are good enough bodybuilders at some shows to have qualified. So, you in bodybuilding or anything else, you have to create your own opportunities.
Sure. He's smart. It's a smart move.
Yeah. And here he is. Congratulations on your first pro win. Going to the Olympia this year and next year.
Yeah. It's
like paying your bills. It's like paying your bills in advance. I'm good at that. That's what I do.
He's proof, though, that you got to get out there and compete. I mean, especially in these crazy 2020 times we got going on here, because Regan certainly doesn't have the best physique in the IFBB now. I mean, he still hasn't come into his own, but he's bringing, enough conditioning, and he's enough consistency. He's got a great structure, obviously, and he shows up and he wins and he does well. Even if he doesn't win, he's still placing top 5 at these shows. And this is what people don't realize, is that these are the years that you're developing, stage presence and getting over anxiety about competing, learning the ropes, getting those, like, the veteran tricks you're going to learn down the road when your physique does come into its own, when you could actually start, battling it out, as a top Olympian. And the problem is that once you start getting so good, it's hard to do a million shows anymore, because you kind of it looks like you're trophy hunting. So I think he's smart that he's getting his feet wet and he's getting experience now. And I think that something that he didn't really have, right? Because when you worked with him, he didn't do that many shows.
Well,
people don't realize.
How many shows could you do when you're 22 years old?
Right, exactly. People don't realize that. It's really, he's really kind of like a fresh face when you think about it. And then he had that lapse in sanity after he went to Kuwait there with the Camel Crew. He came back and then he wanted to do classic physique, So that almost cost him a whole year, I would think, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, I mean, it cost him a whole year in terms of muscle growth.
Sure.
So to speak. Well, that year probably cost him time because, there was indecision of, am I going to go up to 400 pounds?
Sure.
At oxygen?
Well, he still might have the gear from that trip in his system, right? He was so loaded up. He was so loaded up. He's still coasting off that. He's still coasting off that.
Yeah, it's a bridge. It's the world's.
He's cruising on it.
Yeah, Google the world's longest bridge. They have them in China. They're 42 miles long. Yeah. He bridged it from 2 years ago in oxygen.
Crazy, right?
But I mean, there's a lot of the same people in his boat, meaning the guys who are in the show competed in the last show in Britain, I think, and maybe some of them, I believe, maybe in Spain. But I mean, you got to do shows. That's what, if your profession is bodybuilding, you do shows.
There he is from the show. Was it the best Regan we've seen all year?
I think he was better. I think he had a good package in Britain.
I can't tell with these pictures online because I don't know if you can filter them or not. But I mean, he looks really good in this picture. But I don't know if this is, like I said, I don't know if there's any filters on this picture.
Yeah.
He's really grainy looking on this picture. His legs are separated. You know, his waist is really good. I think this picture is the best I've seen him look. If this is, if this is accurate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks good there. He looks good there. Might need a special water tab the last couple days.
But he did well. Yeah, I think he did really well. And once again, it was a good move on his part to actually get over there and compete, which is something that a lot of guys are not doing nowadays. And I don't know why, but that's just the case. Well, you know, I didn't really know too many of the other guys in the lineup. I mean, when you look at this lineup, I mean, I guess it was an opportunity for a lot of these guys that really, you know, weren't known to kind of shine here in a sense.
Yeah, you get the scorecards.
So yeah, I mean, according to the scorecards, Regan obviously won easily, and in second place was a guy I didn't really know who it was, and which is interesting because that's, you know, to me exciting when I get guys that, like, you know, are new to at least to us. And this guy is from Ukraine, Vlad Sahurukhu. I'm butchering his name. Sahurutchko.
Yeah, he looks about 500 pounds there.
Yeah, that's a great picture.
Huh?
I don't think that's it. That's not him from the stage. Obviously, that's on his Instagram.
Well, put it up side by side with from the stage, and let's see if.
Well, he does have a stage shot. Yes, let me see the stage shot here.
He's impressive.
Yeah, no, he's big. He's really big.
He's very
the fact
hard.
that Regan beat him was really good. So this was I guess. Oh, he's an Oxygen Gym guy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I told you that like 4 minutes ago when
right. But I'm pretending I didn't hear that.
Oh my gosh, like acting.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think he trains with Oscar, the best trainer in Oxygen Gym. Better than Brother Abdullah. No, he's thick and he's hard.
I think he's going to be a guy to look out for in the future.
No, without a doubt. He's a little H'd from behind. He's got an H shape on the back lat spread. You know what I mean? He could use more width.
I couldn't find any pictures of the show anywhere. That's the only thing I'm a little upset about.
You know what's so funny, Dave? Here we are. I'll tell you what dawned on me today. 2020. Everyone's got a camera. Everyone's got this. You go to these shows and nobody can find pictures after, right?
Yeah.
And there's no commentary on them.
I think the problem is because it's COVID, Chris. There's no one going to the shows. People can't go. There's no audiences. There's no one allowed. I mean, I really think that we had been having good coverage with live streams and stuff like that. And I think that when COVID hit, it was like, boom. It was like everything sucked all of a sudden. I don't know.
Steve Bleckman can't send Ron Harris over there for us with like a hazmat
Chris,
suit.
we did. They quarantined him. He's in quarantine. They had to anally probe him for COVID. He tried. I told him, get the pictures no matter what.
We can't steal the pictures right off MD anymore because MD cut back on their budget. But yeah, no, he's very impressive. He's very thick. He's very hard. You know, it's funny, right? Some people would say, you know, the purist, oh, it's a muscle show. He's bigger and he's harder than Regan.
Yeah.
Then he should win. But, you know, and I understand that point. And I agree with it sometimes. But the flip side is, you know, shape with good condition, you know, a good enough condition also plays a big role in who, the winner is.
I think he just got his pro card, this guy, too. Because I'm looking at one of these posts he posted recently. He just got his pro card. We got to get, if he speaks English, I got to get him on the show. Because I don't really know a lot about him. I think he's going to be a future star. I'll get a call Bader up if he's training over there at Oxygen with them.
Yeah, he's there. Call Beta. Well, it's what time is it now in Kuwait? We can call him. Beta's my new best friend. Hi, Uncle Beta. I changed it from Darth Beta to Uncle Beta.
Look at this shot. Look at these shots.
Yeah, no, he's very impressive there. I saw those pictures when I was trying to look him up. Phenomenal front last spread there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's big. Good legs too. Look at the side leg.
Yep.
I'm always impressed for some reason. But I always, if someone has a thick, dense side leg, you know, when they stand to the side, I'm just super impressed with that. I don't know why. I just think it shows that they squat and they have a lot of 3D.
I knew you'd say that. It shows that they train hard.
Because there's a lot of guys that have good from the front, they're pretty good because they got all the detail, and then they turn to the side and they have like no leg there. Nothing, right? It's just like, yeah, there's no details, there's no the lines in their legs, and I'm like, what the fuck? How does this happen? And I think that's because I think some guys don't squat.
Yeah, half rep leg presses.
And unfortunately for some people, they respond to half leg presses, but they just don't get the complete development. You know, they don't get the 3D.
Yeah.
They don't get the 3D look, you know, that we like to talk about. So let's talk about the rest of the lineup because
guy third was very good also.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I've been impressed in the sense that with the show, it wasn't a stacked lineup, but I think there's a lot of future talent in the lineup, and I think
totally agree.
And to me, you know, that's exciting. You know, I guess in a sense, it's a shame, like you said, Chris. No one had like video because we're kind of just, you know, we're almost trying to like figure out what's going on here, and we shouldn't really have to do that. I mean,
we're reviewing a show on 2 Instagram posts by people.
Right, and it's not really fair to the athletes. It's not really fair to anyone in that sense because we're showing, you know, little vignettes, as my dad would say, of what really happened.
Snippets.
The one shot from the stage shot, this shot right here, hold on.
The one picture you have, Dave, from the
one, it's like the worst like comparison. Like, you know, look at it. I mean, it's like they all look terrible there. And I know that these guys look better than that. I mean, Regan's not impressive in this shot at all. And it's just like a dark, you know, shot.
Yeah. Well, you can see you can see Vlad's thickness there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's about it. You can't see people take a good distinction on like separation and condition. I mean, to some degree you can, but
now this guy, the guy from France you were talking about, I think his name is pronounced Theo Leguier. I wonder if Serge Nubret knew him. He's pretty good too, I have to tell you. Let me see if I can pull up some pictures of him from his Instagram. Blackman would love this shot. Take a look at this one. It's a good shot, right? Thick glutes, hamstrings. You see that, Chris?
May have been his first pro show or second pro show, but yeah.
Oh, you think it was that? It was, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, he's balanced, hard. He's hard.
Yeah, he could use a little more size.
Yep. But who doesn't?
Look, you know, to me, if everyone comes in shape, that's a good show, you know, to watch. I guess it sucks when when people are not really in their best shape because then you have to kind of like pick from. It's like I wonder who's going to be good here. I wonder who we can get in here and slip in here because no one's really doing it for us. Remember that Arnold Classic we were at? I think Branch Warren won it. I think that was that the one I think right after he tore his quad, like 6 months later, he made that amazing comeback. He wasn't really his best, but he was good. But everyone else was completely off. It was like a missed opportunity by so many people. It's kind of disheartening to watch these shows when people are not at their best because, you know, you want to see your favorite, you know, bodybuilders up there, you know, looking as good as they can possibly look. And, you know, when they're off, it makes for boring times, you know, so to speak. But anyway, let's talk about some other stuff while I'm waiting for Chris to come back here. I saw the SpaceX launch from, I guess it was Cape Canaveral. It was pretty impressive. I could actually see it from my backyard. I'm going to tell Chris about it. He gets off on that stuff. Let me see if I can pull this up. If you've never seen a launch like that, it was really, really good. Here it was. And this is what I actually saw from my backyard. Not this image itself, but I mean, I didn't see it right from launch. But when I saw it up in the sky, it was about like this. It was amazing. It was so cool to see an actual spaceship taking off from our planet into orbit, that it made everything seem so real to me. It was something that I've always fantasized as a kid. Maybe I can be an astronaut. Not that I ever wanted to really, but the whole idea that, we're really going into space, and to see the rocket come back to the planet. I was seeing little flashes in the sky, and it kind of made everything seem real, to me, which is kind of cool. You can't, you almost can't put a price tag on being able to witness that. Maybe one day, we'll see this rocket ship take off to go to Mars, and in my lifetime, hopefully. I can only hope that. Now that Chris is back, I just was showing them the SpaceX. I was actually able to watch the launch from my house.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's exciting, right?
Yeah, man. It's I think we could see it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I would go outside and what you're looking at right now on the screen, that's what I saw in my sky.
Is that your video? Wow, you have
no, that's not my video.
I'm just kidding.
It actually took off, but when it hit about this point, that's when you can see it up in the sky. And we saw it almost as a little blip, when it goes into and we were listening to the play-by-play, so we knew when it actually each stage rockets released, and now the rockets, they actually fly back to Earth, so they can be reused, which Elon Musk said is the hardest part of the whole SpaceX thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that once we go to Mars, the hardest part to going to Mars is actually not getting to Mars. It's actually landing on Mars. Because if you fuck up, everyone dies, basically, Yeah. So that's got to be perfect, the landing on Mars. So they're obviously this technology they have, that once these booster rockets release from the actual capsule that they're putting into space, they fly back to Earth, and they land on a landing pad. They know exactly where they're in. Like one's they're right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It lands there like a perfect helicopter that would be landing, and then they just pick it up and they reuse it. It's amazing, great technology. So that was my little thrill I had for the night.
Kids watch it?
Yeah, my kids were outside. They really weren't. They really weren't that impressed by the little blip of light in the sky, but I was. So, and my wife was. So that was all that matters. Now let's go back to the show.
Yeah, we're on what place?
Fourth place now. Was another, I believe, Russian guy, right?
Yeah, fourth was
Mohammed.
Yeah, also
Mohammed Elamam. Yeah. Oh, he's also an oxygen guy? Okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So
who does all right, I'm gonna put this picture up. Who does he look like here? Hold on. You get one guess.
Go ahead, Dave. Let me
go ahead. One guess. I'm projecting, I'm thinking about it. And I don't even know the guy, I just know the picture of the guy.
Facially, you mean?
This whole look, just the picture itself.
No idea.
Past bodybuilder. Benny Pota. Remember him?
Oh God, Benny Pota, yeah.
Isn't that like the Benny Pota shot? That face?
Yeah. He does. There's some resemblance there.
No one even knows what we're talking about.
No, they don't. That's way back.
So Mo Elamam trains at Oxygen too, I guess. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
here he is.
Good.
5 hours before the competition.
Let's see how he looks 5 hours. Good condition. Big.
Yeah.
Big legs. Big arms.
So it seems as though Oxygen's got a whole new crop of guys that are
they get the second place guy, the fourth place guy, and
these are all new guys that we don't, we never heard
Brandon, and they used to have Regan, and I wonder if they got this guy up to 400 pounds before they died and
yeah, I don't know. Well, speaking of former, do we have to? Let's just talk about fifth place, Lionel Bakey. Yeah. What's going on with Lionel Bakey? What do you think?
He got old.
You think he's done?
Yeah, he's done.
It seems like he still has the muscle. He just can't get in shape, the guy.
No, he don't have the muscle.
No?
He has the muscle, but you've got to have the metabolism too, and you've got to have the. This is not the Lionel Baiki we've seen, and the thing with Lionel is like he's like a Ramy. We're always waiting to see, like, we give him a bye anyway, right?
I know.
We're just waiting for him to show up, like, complete and polished. And, he comes into a lot of shows mostly complete, somewhat polished, or...
Yeah. He put this picture up on his Instagram just recently saying, what competition was this from? I know you like to name competitions. That was a good one.
Well, it's a filtered photo to the max, but it's probably the Germany Olympia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked very
Someone
good
wrote 2013 Europa Super Show. What was the response to it? You are not so far. I guess that's not correct.
Well, there you are. You're 7 years removed, dude. You know what I mean? I mean, Regan was competing in the high school basketball tournament 7 years ago.
I think he was right. 2013 Mr. Olympia, where he placed 10th.
In other words, 7 years is a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not that Lionel Baiki anymore.
I mean, that Lionel Baiki, that's what I mean by, is he done? I don't think we're ever going to see that Lionel Baiki again.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even that's an impressive.
That's a 2013 Mr. Olympia too.
Yeah, that's an impressive version right there.
Well, we hate to see the guys that we remember looking so great not getting back to where they were again. And I don't know. I guess Baiki's got to be in his 40s now, right? I would think so. Maybe not.
Well, let's see.
He had some blood sugar control issues, Chris.
Yeah, no, I know. He was a diabetic, right? Or is he a diabetic?
He was, and he said he was healed when I interviewed him a couple of years ago, and I don't know if he still is or not. But that could affect conditioning. He always had conditioning problems, but if you have blood sugar control issues, that could also definitely make it hard for you to
water retention.
Water retention. Yeah. Exactly. So.
But if you have a good secret pill, the last 2 days, it don't matter anyway.
Now, speaking of former Oxygen Gym guys, I got to play this video. Ramy, someone sent me this video of Ramy, like when he was, I don't even know what year this is. Let me play the video. You know the video I'm talking about.
Yeah, when he was like...
he had hair.
He was like Phil Donahue. Now he hasn't given an interview. He talked more than Phil Donahue, and now he won't give a bodybuilding interview since the day he arrived.
Yeah. Now in the video, Ramy is like the most social. You can't shut the guy up in the video. He looks. His face is exactly the same, except he looks so. His face is so skinny, right?
He's blowing you kisses there, Dave. Say, Dave, if I ever turn pro, you can interview me, Dave. I'll translate.
I've never seen Ramy move so fast.
This is the guy who's going to train. Yeah, this is the guy who's going to train me here. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Dave Palumbo is going to interview me. It's my dream to be interviewed by him.
Right.
But when I turn pro, I'm not going to interview with anyone. I'm going to have a mystique about me that I'll never talk to anyone.
Look at those sideburns he's got.
Yeah, they're like Egyptian Elvis. Maybe it's just like Ramy's cousin parading his.
No, but you know what the funny thing is? His face definitely changed a lot, but he looks like skinny. But if you wait at the end of the video, he hits like an arm shot, right? And his arm is like enormous, very deceptive, right? Wait, it's coming up.
I didn't watch it all the way.
Oh, you didn't watch to the end?
No.
Watch it. So he looks pretty skinny. Then if you look at his forearms, you're like, well, his forearms look they look like they got some size. But with that outfit he's got on,
I wonder how his condition was back then.
He obviously was working at Oxygen Gym here.
Now watch this. There he goes. Maybe it's. Let's
watch this. Like that's a good arm, right?
Yeah, that's a very good arm.
That's a good arm. That's a great arm. For
Yeah, it's kind of it's an unbelievable. He went from the train, like, you know, someone who takes the weights on and off.
Yeah, he was a trainer at Oxygen or whatever. Maybe just cleaned up the gym.
No, he wasn't I mean, he wasn't like an Oscar or an Abdullah, like prepping people.
He cleaned up the weights there at the gym, right?
I mean, he was not a trainer in the extent that we know, right? I mean,
no.
So when are you gonna? Why can't you interview with him and him be this animated?
That's the question I want to ask. Why was Ramy so social and so animated here, and then we can't get the guy to talk to anyone now? When I see something like that, Chris, the first thing that comes to my mind is that the guy has serious anxiety about the whole competition thing. That he's afraid to say anything and to talk to anyone. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Well,
right? I mean, because look how social he's being here.
Yeah.
And that would explain why he has problems maybe getting in shape on stage, because maybe he's got anxiety. You know, maybe he blows it the last, you know, people's psychological state can certainly affect how their physique looks. You know that better than anyone. You've trained a number of nut jobs over the year. I'm not going to mention any names.
Yeah, I got a list here, but no.
And those are the guys you have trouble consistently peaking, right? Because you never know what kind of what's going through their head for that show.
What's that saying? Where your mind goes, your body follows.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
So
you are what you get, or what you think about it. You know, it's true. It's very true.
It's just amazing to see him so animated. And then, how many times have you asked him for an interview? Or
yeah, I mean, he'll do it. If I'm at a show, he'll talk to me. But if I have to, if he has to prepare and I sit down. Yeah. He knows that the show he can schmooze me a little bit but I don't know, it's crazy. We did, speaking of funny things on video, I did an interview with Big Lenny. We called it Saving Big Lenny, like Saving Private Ryan. Mm-hmm. And Big Lenny, I guess, had some ibogaine treatment with a Guru Amin. You know, they're using ibogaine now. I don't know if you're that familiar with it. To basically, if people have addiction problems, it could be from anything from food to smoking to serious drug addictions, which is sex addictions. But anything. Ibogaine has almost like a reset on your brain. It resets your brain. It takes away all the addictive urges, and so I guess Big Lenny was just having a tough time of life, basically in general. And, just couldn't function well, and he was having some heart problems, and his health wasn't doing good. And he got some great results from it. He did 3 days. He went out there, flew out to Colorado with Amin and Jim Tamagini. He did his ibogaine treatment with them, and I think he threw up a few times, but after it was all said and done, he said he feels great now. I noticed he's a lot less nervous. He doesn't twitch as much. He said all his addictive, problems that he doesn't have them anymore. And this is the same reporting I've gotten from a bunch of people who've said they've done these ibogaine treatments. So it's something, if you guys have any kind of addictions, if you're addicted to drugs, I have a friend of mine, I'm not going to say who it is. He's seriously addicted to opiates, from heroin to Percocet. He'll do anything. And he called me. I'm like, you got to get over there to Amin. I said, you're going to be dead. You could be dead. If you're doing heroin, you could die tomorrow, because you don't even know what you're injecting, because a lot of these heroin bags are tainted. Look what happened to Paul DeMeo. You think you're doing a certain amount, and it's 10 times the strength, and you wind up dying. Mm-hmm. So if you have that kind of addiction and you want off and you want out, you call Amin. I don't care what he's charging. I don't even know what he charges, but it's worth it. You cannot put a price on your life, And I've heard so many good stories. Chris Bell from Bigger, Stronger, Faster, the guy who did that movie. Mm-hmm. He went out there and did it. He actually filmed the whole documentary on it. We've talked about that and about that experience, because I didn't know this, but he was like a closet drug addict his whole life, and it really helped him. So any bodybuilders, if you guys or girls out there who feel that you're feeling a little hopeless, you're addicted, you can't break the cycle, I'm telling you, contact Guru Amin at the redpillreset.com, theredpillreset.com. All right, that's my good service announcement of the day.
Sounds like an ad.
Yeah, it's an ad, but it's not, because you know what? Unfortunately, there's a lot of people, Chris, that are drugs are really doing a number on, especially during COVID time, and we've heard too many people dying already. Kent Paul, he's a was a bodybuilder. He trains people. He just died recently. I don't know what he died of, but I'd like to send a shout out to his relatives out there, his family. Mike Zeltzer had told me that. I didn't. Actually, Mike Zeltzer just turned 50. I got to give him a big shout out. Birthday wishes. You better send one out too, Chris, to Mike Zeltzer.
Happy birthday, Mike Zeltzer.
Mike Z, the Algebra Wizard. Isn't that a great nickname?
The Algebra Wizard.
The Algebra Wizard. He's a math teacher.
King Hambrick's birthday is today. Second Olympia is 23.
Is he?
Funny, right?
Yeah, that is pretty.
I said, happy birthday. How old are you? I said, 23. I said, oh, not bad. Second Olympia. Right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine being in high school like 18 and say like, oh yeah, in like 5 years I'll be in my second Olympia.
I remember when I interviewed him after he won the Junior USA. He was like, he didn't even know anything about bodybuilding. He was just
bone freak.
Yeah, just a total freak.
Yeah, that's a Bob Gerson statement. It's like when you have a good structure. It's not a muscle freak, but I say you're a bone freak. So Bob, what's a bone freak? It's when you got good structure, you've got good bones, a good build.
While we're talking about some kind of bad news, this is not terrible news that she's still alive, but do you remember Melissa Coates?
Of course.
The female bodybuilder?
Yeah.
She lost her leg. They had to amputate her leg. She got some kind of clot or something like that. It's a whole crazy. I'm going to interview her. It's a whole crazy thing. She's got a GoFundMe set up for.
That's crazy. Yeah, she was a very good bodybuilder.
Yeah,
she was well liked.
I saw her pose at I remember the NPC Muscle Beach in New Jersey. This had to be back in the 90s. And I was like, holy, I really liked the way she looked.
Yeah,
she was really good back then. Yeah.
Yeah. She had a couple of years where she was good, really good, very muscular, but, good shape.
She,
super teeny.
She kind of just like lost her way, I think. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of her, old picture of her.
Yeah, she was. I hate that saying, but she was, very muscular and quote kept her femininity.
Oh, really? Yeah, really well. Hold on, let's see. I think this
it's hard for a lot of people to do that. A lot of women to like.
This was her back in the day. Pretty girl too. I think she did. I'm pretty sure
that's like post. She was big. She was jacked.
I think there's different shots. Let me see.
Yeah. There was a couple years she was competing as a bodybuilder where she was, big, full, and hard.
I got to find it. Here's a good. You'll like this picture. Hold on.
Yeah, that was when she hit the scene, but then she got big.
She was good though. She was good. She always kept I thought she was always pretty feminine. I don't know. Then she got into the whole wrestling thing. I think was the wrong move for her, to be honest with you.
What she do, WWE or?
She was trying to get in there and she didn't really get in, and she was doing some independent stuff. And I don't know. I just think I think she just got wrapped up into the wrong. That whole wrestling thing is tough to do. You know why? Because you're traveling a lot, and they do. They go out and they drink, and it's just. I think it's not conducive to the bodybuilding lifestyle. Mm-hmm. That's my whole belief on the thing. But I thought she had a good marketable look for. She would have been a good women's physique competitor if she was, if they had it back in the day.
Yeah. But, did you skip over the show about Peter Muller?
Yeah, I haven't. I'm coming back to that. So.
Yeah, she was Canadian. Was Canadian. She's from Canada. Bob Muscle Mac used to use her a lot.
Bob Kennedy, yeah, that's where I saw her, I think, for the first time. Yeah. I think Mel Chance used to date her back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. Before he went to jail for the first time. Now, there was an NPC part of the Romania show that I wanted to bring up. And there's a competitor that you've been helping. I didn't even know you were helping him, to be honest with you, until you sent me pictures the other day. Peter Molnar is probably one of the most well-known, non-affiliated, organizational bodybuilders. He was kind of like I call it like a henchman. He gets like, he's like a bodybuilder for hire. He was doing all these shows in Europe, right? For money, basically. but no, I don't think there was any specific organizations he was competing in, and people always would talk about this guy being, why doesn't this guy do IFBB? This guy would be a great pro, and I think he was just making too much money from that. That's the story I heard. I don't do you know anything different since you've been working with him?
No, I don't know the detailed story. But how our paths crossed is I know he wanted to come to the IFBB, and so somebody, his best friend, had texted me. Actually, the people in Oxygen Gym had put him in touch with me.
Oh, really? That's unusual.
Abdullah, Brandon's trainer, put him in touch with me.
Now, why is that? Why did they take him on?
I don't know. I don't know what the story was. I think that I don't know all the details. You'll have him on your show. You can ask him.
Yeah.
So his best friend contacted me and said, he wants to compete in the IFBB, and he can do 212, or he can do classic. And they asked me, what do you think? And I said, based on the fact that they did away with the Arnold 212, right?
Right.
I hate to say this because I love the 212 division. That classic has a, quote, bigger future than 212.
How tall is he, Chris?
He's like, I think, I don't even know, 5'6", maybe 5'7".
That's pretty tall for 212 anyway. So yeah.
So they just, he had been off from training for quite a while, and then he just threw it together. And
when you say off from training, you mean he didn't work out at all?
No, I think he was training, but just trying to contemplate his future, like where is he going.
But like I said, I from what I heard, he was making good money, competing in Europe, and maybe he was kind of like a man without a country type of thing. And so, so he decided with this when this show came about, was it the show that he decided, hey, I'm going to do this because it's NPC and I want to get my pro? Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So his best friend said, Chris, this is the plan. Once they got it rolled out, that the decision was made to do classic over 212 because he could do either one. Mm-hmm. His friend told me, okay, Friday will be the amateur. He'll win that, and then he will as a bodybuilder, and then he has to win the overall to get the pro card, and then the federation will give him a pro card if he if he wins, and then the next day he can do the classic, and then he can qualify for the Olympia. Right, and that's how it actually went. And we did break Regan Grimes' record that we had. Me and Regan had the previously held record for most weight lost in the shortest time frame possible when Regan won the New York Pro Classic.
Right.
But we obliterated that here. I brought him down 22 pounds in 6 days.
That was to make which class? Classic?
Classic. It was 190 for Classic.
In the NPC?
Yeah.
And then what is it in the pros? It's higher, right?
No, it's like 2 pounds. You had to weigh like the same the next day. So the day after he won his pro card, he could add an extra 2 pounds. He added. I thought
it was a big difference between the NPC and the IFBB.
Maybe not there the way they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So he only had 2 pounds of wiggle room once he made the weight, so he could. I think
that's crazy.
2 pounds, yeah.
So 2 days in a row, boom, boom, pro card win, and then
trying to get to the invite to the Olympia now. If Jake and Dan Solomon are listening, since they have,
maybe they should give him a special invite. They've been throwing those out there. No, they didn't throw that many out there. They just gave them one out. But if Ramy got one, this guy. Well, the reason why he deserves one maybe is because he has been a pro, not in the IFBB, but it's like getting a champion from another organization. He's got the stage experience. It would add a level of excitement. I don't know if he could beat, Bumstead or Breon Ansley, but he certainly would give the
post the pictures up that I sent you.
Yeah,
you tell me.
Yeah, I can't. I'll pull up whatever's on his page here.
Who beats that front up? No, don't pull up what's on his page. Pull up what I sent you, which is today's photos. I mean, those page things. Some of them are like 6 years old, 8 years old. Some of them are filtered.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to do those.
I'll just hold up my phone. Let me
Look at this shot. This is a great shot. Hold on. I love this one.
All that technology, you can't pull up those pictures.
Look at that shot, Chris.
Yeah, he's like peel pecs there.
That is nuts. That is a brutal shot. He looks 100 pounds heavier than he does.
Can you pull the picture up for Dave from my Instagram? No.
Oh, you got it on your Instagram? Yeah, I'll pull it up on your Instagram. That's fine.
Yeah, get the 2 pictures. That's all you get, Peter. You won two first. You get 2 photos. You have to pay to get extra pictures.
Oh, these pictures. Okay.
The front double and the side tricep.
I like the side tricep shot. Yeah, that was good. That looks a little weird angled, but it's freaky looking nonetheless.
Yeah, I got a lot of accusation that it's all oiled up, jimmied up tricep. A lot of people said it looks like DeMayo's, right?
Yeah, that's like the total DeMayo shot. He has the front double. That's a good shot. That's a great shot. You can tell from that shot his arms are not oiled up.
Yeah,
he's got a really small waist. He probably he's if he can make the classic on a regular basis, I think it's a good division for him. But I just don't, Chris. I don't see it. If you have to knock him down 20 pounds, how's this guy going to make it on a regular basis?
That's why I just laughed when you said the regular basis. There's no regularity. They asked him to come to Italy in 2 weeks, and I thought, like, are you? That's
why did he just do open? He should do open bodybuilding.
Well, I mean, you have choices. It's I mean, he could do the open. He'd have to add a lot of mass, but those are classic lines. I mean, whose tricep looks like that? The legs, the flow, he has a Bumstead
look, to him, to his physique a little bit. He's long. He's got a long torso like that.
Yeah,
I'd like to see him on the Olympia stage. I think that
the big arms.
You think he would go if he was invited?
Oh my God! In 2 seconds.
Dan Solomon, if you're listening, Jake Wood, throw the invite out there, man.
Jake, he already asked Jake for it.
Oh, he did? Oh, that's right. Jake was out there. That was his show. So what Jake say?
He gave a.
Well, he didn't want to answer without consulting with everyone.
That's 100% right. See, Dave, that's why you're the host of the show.
I don't even think it's his decision. Isn't it the IFBB that has to invite him? Or
yeah,
that's what it is.
Jake, I mean, there's some input. You know what I mean?
It's a great story, though.
It's great.
To win your pro card and then win a pro show in the same day. I don't know if has anyone done that.
I don't know if people have. It was the next day, so he had to drop the 22
right. But it was
pounds.
It was the same week. It was the same show. Like because I remember Lunsford won his pro card at the USA, and then the week after won a pro show and qualified for the Olympia. But it wasn't the same show, in the same weekend.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. I'm talking about I'm talking in bodybuilding too.
Yeah. Well, how many opportunities? I can't imagine it happening only because there's how many opportunities are there. Oh, we have an amateur show, and then if you win it, you can get your pro card.
Right.
And we're having a pro show the very next day because usually those shows are on the same day.
I've seen when I went to Australia when Tony Doherty used to have his show over there before it was the Arnold Classic. They used to do like also the amateur show the day before or the same day. It was the same day, and then you can go and do the pro show. And he had a few people do that, but no one ever won. They just entered the show. Some of them did well, but no one, I've never seen anyone win, that in that sense. So, yeah, we're going to get him hopefully get him on the TV show, and we'll talk to him and find out all about him. Where exactly is he from? Where was he born?
He's from Hungary.
Okay.
I believe.
Cool.
It's so funny because I never get people's info, like where you from, your height.
No, you're just worried about getting him in shape, which is really all that you should really be concerned with anyway. I think people get too involved with the
people tell me, I said, who cares? Let me just see if you're in shape.
So did you see Colin Van Moger got his pro card?
Yeah, he did.
He won his class at the NPC Team Universe. A lot of controversy behind that win.
What was the controversy?
Well, the controversy is that people felt he didn't look good. I'll put his picture up there for you.
He might look a little bit too rugged for the class, if that, square. I looked at one picture for like 1/1,000,000th of a second.
Right. I just think, I just think he wasn't ready yet. I think remember he had a lot of injuries, but he was smart because he struck while, during a downtime, and he won. You know, people get upset. I looked at the class pictures. He deserved to win the class. That he deserved not to win the overall. And that's exactly what he got.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that the team nurse was open to anyone now. Yeah, I was like, he's not a U.S. citizen that I know of, at least. Yeah. And I forgot. I think they opened it up to everyone. Hold on, here we go. There's the front double. So he's in shape. He's just, from behind. I'll pull up a picture behind. Behind, he wasn't good. He was a little soft. But if you look at the people in the class that he beat, it really wasn't a great class, by any means.
It's all who he's standing next to, right?
Of course. Yeah, of course. But you know that people get all outraged, And look, you know what? He showed up. If he was the best guy in the class, then he deserved to win. You could tell his glutes are not tight enough. His hamstrings are a little undersized. The guy tore his patella tendon. I can't even believe his legs look as good as they do. And then he tore his bicep twice. You remember that?
Yeah. I figured he'd never be on stage ever.
Yeah. His arms look pretty good for someone who tore his bicep. But that's, crap happens. You can't be upset with the guy because he took advantage of the fact that, maybe the show was not going to be at its all-time best, He took it, he struck. You got to be, I always tell people, you got to be at the right place at the right time. Some people just are always at the right place at the right time. You ever notice that?
Timing is everything.
Now, I'll pull up the guy who took second. Now, the top two got their pro card. So Austin Berg also got his pro card in this class. And
I know it sounds ridiculous. Where did they have the show, Dave?
What do you think?
Tampa.
Orlando. Everything's in Florida. They'll probably move the Olympia to Florida.
Really? You think so?
I think they're going to do it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make it. From what I'm hearing, I don't think it's going to make it. Now, this is the guy who came in second. He's good, but I could see Colin beating him.
Yeah, it's Colin's. He's tighter, I think. Based on.
Yeah, from the back,
I'd say this guy definitely has a better haircut.
and that is everything after all said and done, right?
Yeah.
My friend Doug Wentz always told me you can't beat a great haircut on stage. That was his quote of the century, I thought. In men's physique, remember when men's physique first started?
Mm-hmm.
You had to have a good haircut, right?
Of course.
All right, I'm going to show you this guy's. And the only reason I'm taking the time to show all these pictures is because there's a lot of people complaining, and I what I'm trying to tell people is Colin looked better than this guy, and so he deserved to beat him. They both got pro cards. It was just not a very hard class. Now, if it would have been a much more difficult class, which we've seen in the past, Colin would have won. So given what was up there, he was the best guy. Got his pro card. He didn't win the overall. I'll pull the overall guy up, who's good. And that's, you can't be mad at the guy. I mean, I don't know what the people are complaining about, The problem is that people judge you against what they think your best is. And that's not what you should do, because shows are judged according to who's up there on that stage. And that's just the way it goes. Mm-hmm. So Thomas Hernandez.
Thomas Hernandez won the overall?
Yeah, he won the overall. I'll pull up his picture. Hold on. He's good. We've seen better classic physique, divisions before. I don't think this was by any means the hardest, but you know what? We're in tough times here, Chris. People don't realize it. These are not easy times to compete in. I have a lot of clients who they haven't had access to a gym.
Yeah, a lot of places are shutting down, or
Europe's all shut down. Yeah. It's amazing that they had the show in Romania. So that's the guy who won. And that's
looks like he has no oil on.
Thomas Adami. Yeah, he's very low oil. Bob Grushkin would be backstage, right? Get over here. We're gonna put some more oil on you.
Put some Pam on him.
Anyway, congrats. I'm not going to go through all the placings. I'm just kind of highlighting, but all the NPC Team Universe pictures, placings, they're all up at npcnewsonline.com. You can check them out there. Some great, a lot of great competition. I helped a bunch of people on the show this past weekend, and they said it was a really well-run show, given the fact that, it's in COVID times. I think there was 4,000 bikini competitors in the show, something like that. The amount of people that did this show is incredible when you think about, all the, quarantining and everything that's going on, right? In our world out there. So it was amazing. No masks. No masks on stage. Florida has no rules. There's no rules. There's no laws down here.
Did they have masks at that show, that pro show we just reviewed? No.
No.
Right?
No. Probably cost Jake $10,000.
Fine. Yeah, because right. Romania, that was, I heard Romania. I mean, I don't know if it's true. I heard Romania is getting ready to shut down because some of the competitors were freaking out.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Interesting. I didn't know this, but remember last year when was it last year or the year before that? I don't even remember. What was last year? It could have been the year before. Remember I reported on the World's Strongest Man competition because it was in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I haven't heard about the World's Strongest Man. It was this past weekend again in Florida, in Bradenton, Florida. I'm upset. I didn't know. Not that I would have gone anyway, but because of COVID. But I had a really good time there the last time. My kids even had a really good time there. It was fun.
Yeah, you filmed it.
Yeah. And let me see if I can pull this up here.
Who won it?
I'm going to tell you right now.
Dave, you love the strongman competitions.
Everyone does. It's fun to watch. Oleksiy Novikov. I remember him. Yeah,
sounds Ukraine. Like a strongman name.
Yeah, he's a Ukrainian guy. He's a big dude. So he won. I'm sure they're going to have a video. They'll have the World's Strongest Man on. I don't know if ESPN is still covering it, but I would imagine they probably will.
ESPN, are they still around? They just laid off 300 people.
Did they really? Wow. 24 years old, the guy is. He did an 1,185-pound deadlift. Pretty Yeah, and now it's a partial because you're pulling it off the floor because with the wheels.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty impressive.
Coleman did that for 3. But
yeah. Ronnie would be after the World's Strongest Man would be over, like Ronnie would be like at a metrics booth, and Ronnie would be like, "Hey, man, can I try this?" They'd be like, "Yeah, well, before we break it down, you can give it a shot. It's pretty heavy. You might. You want to wear straps? No, just yeah. You got any chalk over here?" Ronnie will be chalking up his hands. Like, what's this guy doing? And Ronnie will just lift it for like a set of 8, and they'll be like, "Do you know he just lifted?" Man, it was pretty heavy.
World record 8 times.
You just broke the world record. You just broke the world record. Man, when I deadlift, I pull off the floor. This is much easier. It's much easier. Those tires are giving it's like a cheat. It's a cheat rep.
You know what? It's so funny. Today I was cooking. Every time I cook chicken and I put barbecue sauce on the chicken.
You think of Ronnie?
Not every time, but I think of Coleman. Eating a no-carb diet with 300 carbs per meal. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that funny? He's probably the most, I don't think anyone knew. People, when they saw Ronnie did this video. It was like the Battle of the Olympia. Mitsuru Okabe used to film these things. And Ronnie was eating this Masterpiece barbecue sauce in the video. And everyone saw him doing this. And Ronnie was shredded. And so people thought, this was like a pre-contest type of barbecue sauce. So everyone went out and bought Masterpiece barbecue sauce and started eating it. I remember helping a couple guys. There was like 1 million grams of sugar in this stuff.
There's 2 tablespoons is like, and Ronnie would put on like 5 tablespoons on, or 6 tablespoons on each meal. 2 tablespoons was like 40 carbs.
I know, and he was in shape, but I think that's, and we've talked about this before in the past. That's why the guy needed to do 2.5 hours of cardio a day
to burn off the masterpiece.
To burn off the masterpiece barbecue sauce. Here's the, hold on, let me pull up the world's strongest man guy. Olikov. Here he goes. All right.
So what they do? They did a deadlift there. What else for the world's strongest man?
He's 24 years old. Wow. He's the youngest world's strongest man ever. John Paul Sigmarsson won it, also 24. That's crazy. Yeah, guys don't develop, that level of strength and technique that quickly. That's amazing.
You got to get.
He set the world record for max reps with a giant dumbbell on the world's ultimate strongman feats of strength series. That momentum carried him into an exceptional performance at the biggest stage of sport. So
seems like Russians, Germans, Ukrainians, they love the strongman stuff, right?
Well, we were doing really well here with the Brian Shaw was kicking butt for a while. Derek Poundstone, and then I think it fell off. I don't know. I think people get bored here.
No, I mean, well, we have the strongman, but just the numbers in terms of.
Yeah. Well, I think they are rewarded there. In other words, it's looked up as something special to do that. Here, if you're in the U.S., if you don't play football, basketball, or baseball, you're really not going to be a superstar, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah.
If you're the world's strongest man in the Ukraine,
celebrity. Yeah,
you're like Michael Jordan over there. Look at what's his name, Kamal. He goes back to his country there of Libya. He's like the president.
Yeah.
The president comes out and picks him up in his limo.
Yeah, he's got a contract with the cell phone company, like the AT&T of Libya.
Because it's valued there. We don't have that in our country.
Speaking of, Kamal looks dangerous 5 weeks out.
Yeah, I think he's going to be very tough to beat. I really do.
I sent you pictures, right? Not to be posted. Yeah, he's very.
Yeah, well, I have another guy who sends me the pictures that not to be posted either.
Yeah. Well, you can post those ones.
Yeah,
I know who you get.
No, they say don't post them too.
Huh?
Sometimes they say post them. Sometimes they say don't post them.
Pictures so he can get scared.
Kamal looks good. I think he's going to be. I think the 212 Olympia might turn out to be more competitive than the Open.
Well, you're going to have consistency of condition from 1 through 7. In other words, I bet you the guy who wins and the guy who gets 7th and everyone in between are just 110% on the money.
I tend to agree, especially since they have to weigh in too.
Yeah, I mean, the weight has a big role. We know that. But at the Olympia, you're going to have people 1 through 7. You're going to have people, we've seen him better. This guy's not tight enough. This guy's at his absolute best. This guy's at his best. Whereas 1 through 7, you're going to say like, they're all at their all-time best. Or like, if they're not at their all-time best, whoever they are, they're 100% dialed.
You got Kamal, Derek Lunsford, Sean Clarita.
This guy, Angel, who's won 3 shows in a row.
Angel Calderon.
Fabulous.
Who's the new guy now? George Peterson.
George Peterson.
You got a couple of your guys, who could be in there. I don't know if they'll be vying for the title, but I mean, George Peterson's got to be crazy dangerous on that stage.
Yeah, he's dangerous. He's very.
I think the guys we just named are going to be your top guys. I feel like I'm forgetting someone important who just.
I'm sure. I don't know if Sammy Haddad's doing it. He's good.
Yeah, but he's not going to be competing for top 3. He's good, but he's not.
What's his face? Who was 4th last year? Jewett. He's
John Jewett. And what about also the guy who what's his name? Who Neil Hill helps. He's got his head is a little tilted to the side with.
No, he's in the classic.
Oh, he's classic, right? I'm sorry. He wasn't he 212 for a while?
Yeah, he was good 212.
He was a good he was very good 212.
Yeah. So I think he's a better classic than he is 212, but he's good in both.
Yeah,
it's funny.
You know, he comes in shape. That's why.
Yeah, people moving from back and forth division to division.
Obviously, we won't have Keon Pearson in that lineup. He bowed out, but it's still going to be stacked.
Yeah.
Maybe Peter Molnar coming to the 212.
If he gets the invite, he'll be there.
That'll be interesting. Now, I guess he didn't qualify for 212. He qualified in a classic, so I don't know if they would let him.
Yeah, I meant classic. He wants to do classic, so
yeah. I would like, but I'm saying I'd like to see him in the 212.
Well, he weighed 190. That's it.
I know.
I mean, he could easily come in. He could easily come in
at 200 pounds. Yeah,
with really good condition.
That's crazy. So. He's got his bones must not have any density to them because I don't know how he looks so much bigger than he really is.
Yeah, well,
weight is deceptive.
Maybe like the election, they rigging the scale when he's stepping on the scale. You never know.
That's right. It's possible.
What about the Big Ramy video?
Oh, okay. We'll end the show with that. Okay. I should have gone from the funny Ramy video to the Big Ramy video.
You got it in.
Hold on. Right, let me look. Hold on. So Ramy didn't post a video, but Chad Nichols posted a video. Who's coaching Ramy? Let's get that up there on the screen. Then you can critique it, Chris. Okay.
You want me to critique it like Sean? I don't like the pants. I don't like the nothing. No pop. Well, he's like three miles away.
I know. It's hard to tell. But on a scale of, let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. How's that?
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, on a Ramy scale.
Let me tell you exactly what he weighs here. I guarantee it.
Go ahead.
318.
You think he's that heavy?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a mistake? That would seem to be a mistake to me.
I'm not saying.
Well, how does he look? On a Ramy scale of 1 to 10, he seems like he's got glutes, but...
Yeah.
Back looks big. What's your prediction here? Usually right on.
Besides being dead 100% right on the weight,
like if I was making like a toy doll, this would be a great look, right? For the doll, like a freaky action figure, like my son would want. I don't know if this is an Olympia look, in terms of conditioning. He still has 5 weeks to go, right, or 4 weeks to go.
Yeah.
Give me your assessment. You know Ramy better. You're always right on the money.
He's gonna have trouble.
Yeah.
Pause the tape right there.
On the front double?
Yeah, pause the front double. You want me to break it down?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me freeze it.
Torso seems long because his waist is wider.
Is that just something that just happened because he's as we get
no, because as he gets older and bigger,
the
waist is. This is not New York Pro. First year we saw him waist.
No.
If you actually look at the arms, they look big, but in relation to the legs and the torso, they almost look like not big enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, they're not as big as they used to be, at least.
The arms are enormous if you're just looking at the arm, but in the whole scope of things, he may have to jimmy him up for the show. Do you think he'll do the show, or is he gonna? You think there's gonna be a problem and mysteriously disappear? I don't know. It just it's funny because people don't know what I'm sure. I love that we're reading comments lately on the show, like when people on Instagram, probably like 85% of the people think that he's like, at his all-time best here.
They say that every year. No one knows because he's got a lot of wow. There's a lot of bells and whistles to his physique.
I'll tell you what. Post a picture of Rolly up 5 weeks out.
Yeah.
So I'm just to get you can't put a picture up of like the reason I say Rolly is because we're looking for freak factor, right? And
you think Ramy's having a nervous breakdown about this picture being up, about this video being up that Chad put up? I'm assuming he probably is okayed it.
Yeah, because he don't like to be analyzed.
I'd like to see Ramy. I'd like to see him grow his hair like the other picture the other video we were.
The sideburns.
Yeah,
the Elvis sideburns.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of the video? You got a good eye.
I think it looks like the Ramy we see every single year, right? He looks exactly the same to me. He looks like he's going to be on the verge of being his best ever and win the Olympia, and then he doesn't show up any better. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, if conditioning is like what we want to see out of him, right?
Right.
Then, like Kamal and George Peterson's condition, I know it's a different division, would make that look like Fantasy Island.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Chad, Chad's son, we always see these crazy videos he has of his son bench pressing and squatting crazy amounts of weight. And his son's like, what, 13?
Second in the world's strongest.
Yeah. Look how big his son is. He's taller than Chad.
Yeah.
Chad's a tall guy, too. Chad's over 6 feet, right?
Yeah. Looks
Isn't
like
that crazy.
Yeah, he's got Kim's hair in Chad's face.
Yeah. I see Kim in him.
Perfect hair.
Yeah. He's definitely got Kim's hair, without a doubt. How funny is that?
I'm jealous they get to play football. My son plays football, and they had the year scrapped.
Well, he broke his tibia, according to what Chad wrote here, and they didn't think he was going to play again. He still got to play.
A brutal place to break, right? When
Yeah.
you're playing football.
I'm sure it hurt like hell, yeah. But he got back on stage, so.
You mean back on the field, Dave?
Got back on the. Yeah, well, I mean,
Good
he
enough.
got back. He didn't lose the whole season. What's this shot that he has up here? Oh, it's Blessing of Wabadu. Stalk Chad's page a little bit, see what he's got going on here.
I don't know. He looks good, but Remy looks good in that other video. I mean, not the other video. Yeah, there was a video that he already posted, right? Yeah, from
look at Chad. Look at Chad's family. All right, Chad is taller than his son. I feel better now. That was just a weird picture. It's cool. He's lucky. Yeah, a lot of sports were canceled, I would think. There's Kim when she won the Olympia. Yeah, you're right. Same hair.
No, she won. That was when she won the Arnold
90 Miss International, yeah, 93 Miss.
Phenomenal that year.
Yeah. Did she beat Laura that year?
No, that was Laura wasn't in it that year, but she was like outrageous that year.
Yeah. People forget what a good bodybuilder she was.
Look at that. I mean, talk about carrying muscle with, keeping femininity. Look at that.
Yeah. Is that recent? Yeah. She wants to put on some muscle again. His son is a freak.
Told you, second in the world.
Second in the world.
It's got Kim's bicep, crazy.
Yeah,
peak,
yeah.
Huh? She had a crazy. She had long biceps with a crazy peak.
Yeah,
Usually, if you have long arms,
you're
like
right.
Lou Ferrigno, you don't have a peak.
You're right. You're right.
She had long biceps with a peak.
It's crazy.
Freaky.
How old is he now? He's got to be 13, 14 maybe? I don't even know. I know he's young. Crazy. It's great. I know you watch your kids. I watch my kids grow up. They grow up so fit. So here's his son benching. 365.
Yeah, he's only 7 years old here.
13 years old.
Is he 13 here?
Yeah. 13 years old, 198 pounds.
Well,
he looks like he's 18, right?
He's more than Peter Molnar.
He looks like he's 18. That's crazy.
What is this? Chad's gym in his house or something?
I don't know. Chad's got to have the key to someone's gym, I'm sure. Look at this. Good form too. Watch. You can tell. I'm going to be the same as Chad. Chad's completely living vicariously through his son right now. Right?
Oh, football. Yeah, of course. Football's the best sport.
Oh, it's fun. You got to be a little scared for your kids because they can get hurt, but probably not at the high school level.
No, they can. They can. Those kids are like.
They're like Chad's son. Right?
Yeah, I just gonna say. I said for every kid bench pressing 365, there's other kids who are doing 275, 250, but they can hit brutally hard. Yeah. My son plays football, and just if you close your eyes and you listen to the hits.
Yeah, well, he's a big kid, your son. Now, I mean, I wouldn't want to get hit by him if I was one of those other kids. He's tall and he's got that lankiness and those elbows and knees. Those kids they're just really lanky, tall, and you get hit by them and like, oh, it hurts. It's like a brutal it's like your whole, as my dad would say, your teeth are chattering when you get off the ground. Type of thing. Some people just have that ability to accelerate really fast and hit you hard. I always wanted to play football. I'm sad that I never got a chance to, but my parents diverted me away from it because I had an eye injury. So they thought it was like I was going to have problems or something like that. It was probably for the best because I probably would have gotten injured. I probably would have been good, but I would have probably had an injury or something like that would have probably prevented me from doing bodybuilding.
Which gave you all kinds of other injuries.
Yeah, which gave me all other kinds of, right. But at least I was upset. I would have hated going into bodybuilding knowing I had some kind of limitation on me because I had an old football injury. You always hear that, right?
Yeah, you want to be fresh.
Yeah, I made my own injuries myself doing bodybuilding. All right, well, let's wrap this up. This was a great show. I want to just give tremendous amount of congratulations out to all the competitors. There's so many people that got. I think they have 90 pro cards. There's so many pro cards where we're giving out at the Team Universe this past weekend that, I can't mention everyone out there. Of course, Regan Grimes, congratulations on the win. And Peter Molnar, of course, on that huge double you pulled. And of course, next week, Chris, this coming week, can you believe, I'm sure you do, you probably have people on the show. The Nationals are coming up, NPC Nationals, run by Gary Udit.
Yeah, hats off to Gary Udit. Wait, Gary's
absolutely love Gary, man. Keep that show.
Where's he having it?
It's in Orlando.
In the parking lot or in the?
Who knows? Yeah.
Well,
no, it's in Florida. You can have stuff inside.
We should give our accolades or shout out again, which we've already done, to Jake Wood because he had that show in Romania.
Yeah,
they're getting close, from my understanding, close to shutting it down and putting strict, can't do this, can't do that. But my understanding was same thing. They had no ticket sales, the whole 9 yards, and they still went through with it.
Orange County Convention Center. Was that where DeMeo won the Nationals or no?
DeMeo won the Nationals in 95.
Oh, he did it in Fort Lauderdale, I think, right? No, it was Orlando. 94 Nationals. First show I ever went to. First national show I went to.
That was the first Nationals you ever went to?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Derek Whitsett won.
Yep. And he had beat me that year at the Junior USA as a heavyweight and dropped out to light heavyweight.
Yep. And Paul won the
Nationals. Yeah, he won the.
So was they have super then or just heavy?
No, just heavyweights.
225 and over.
Craig Titus and Don Long were second and third.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that I think it was at the Orlando Convention Center, wasn't it?
I can't even remember, man.
I don't remember where it was.
Isn't it weird? I was just thinking that the other day. I've gone so many places like that, like Nationals. It's like, God, where? I remember who won. I remember certain parts. I remember going to Paul's hotel room. I'm thinking where did I stay? And how
you probably stayed on his couch. Yeah. But you were a bodybuilder back then, so maybe you weren't sleeping on couches.
Yeah, who knows? Weird.
Well, Evan, I don't think it's too late to still sign up, to be honest with you. I think they're letting
for Nationals?
I think you can still sign up. Maybe not. I think Gary will take him. If you contact Gary.
Yeah, Gary could have tanned up Peter Molnar. That he had a lot of criticism on his tan.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, they said it looked like shoe polish.
Yeah, he's got to work on it. So next weekend, Orlando Convention Center, Once again, NPC Nationals. It's funny because we're getting all these pro. Then we're gonna have the USA in another week or so too, right? It's like every major show is like 1 week after the other. You might go broke entering them all, but if you're really close to like winning, it's not like you have to wait 8 weeks or anything. You can kind of just go the next weekend and try again. You got Team Universe, now you got Nationals, and you're gonna have USA. It's crazy, back to back to back. And if you were a Masters, you could have done. Right, what they have like between North American, Masters, Nationals, they had just one after the other. It's crazy. Well, all good. I'm glad that at least the season wasn't a complete wash. That to me makes it at least it makes you feel good for the athletes. But once again, guys, you got to take advantage of that. A lot of guys just quit, mentally and said, I'll wait till next year. And there's nothing wrong with that, but don't be mad at the people who showed up and got their pro cards.
Yeah.
Because those people were able to suck it up and find a way to train and find a way to eat right and navigate the landscape of 2020, which has been a very, very unique landscape at that. So, and if you guys have any substance abuse problems or anything like that, or you're having depression issues, you might want to give Guru Amin a contact. That ibogaine treatment, once again, working wonders for a lot of people. It fixed Big Lenny, so. If it could fix Big Lenny, it could fix you guys. And of course, if you want to donate to the Melissa Coates GoFundMe, she had her leg amputated from the knee down, and we're going to get her on a TV show and do some interviews with her and find out exactly what happened as well. So we want to support all our brothers and sisters in iron all the time. And on that note, until next week, remember, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
Good night, everyone.